Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Right. Okay, let me just go back to. Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good
Can you hear
morning.
me? Yes. Great. Okay, I'm Victor from WoodWing, Asia Pacific. So hope everyone is well and fine. Today, we'd like to share with you what is content orchestration and how WoodWing Digital Asset Management, WoodWing's DAM solution, can enable your team to collaborate, allowing marketeers, brand managers, stakeholders to create, manage, reuse, share, and distribute your digital assets effectively. So here's a brief introduction of WoodWing. Our history, WoodWing is from the Netherlands, was founded in the year 2000, and in year 2001, launched our first InDesign plugin called Smart Connection. And in year 2004, launched Enterprise, our flagship content creation and publishing solution. In 2006, WoodWing Asia Pacific was established in Cyberjaya, Malaysia. In 2008, we launched Content Station, which enabled multi-channel publishing to enterprise. 2010, WoodWing became the first software solution to enable publishing to the new iPad, supporting Time Magazine. 2011, we formed a strategic alliance, a digital publishing partnership with Adobe. 2012, we acquired Elvis DAM, Digital Asset Management, a digital asset management solution for publishers and brands. And in 2015, launched Inception, a digital content editor. And in 2017, we launched Swivel, a SaaS DAM product for after acquisition of Emerge in US, targeting direct model for light DAM users. In 2019, WoodWing is named as the preferred partner of Apple to support publishers in Apple News Plus services. And in 2020, we've rebranded. This is our new logo, and to reposition to provide a better experience to our audience. So since the establishment in the year 2000, we have now 170 plus employees, 60 business partners, present in more than 100 countries with 1,000 plus customers and 49,000 users worldwide. So here are some of our global customers. You can see in the background, bol.com, largest e-retailer in the Netherlands. We have BuzzFeed, one of the biggest digital media in the US and the world. Cipla, leading multinational pharmaceutical company. Thai Tourism, leading brands like Yamaha Motors, Coca-Cola, and many more. Today, we live in a content world. Here are some facts from Nielsen. American adults spend average of 11 hours per day consuming content in various formats in different devices, which makes content the critical competitive differentiator. With the power of storytelling, content marketing is able to reach your targeted audience. This makes content a crucial part of your customer journey. With so much content to produce and to share and target your audience and customers, content needs to be able to scale and orchestrate it. For instance, Red Bull, we all know they are a leading energy drink brand. Now they create their own online channel, associating the brand with extreme sports. So here's a famous quote by their CEO of Red Bull. So I'm sure everyone had spaghetti before. Meat sauce spaghetti, delicious actually, one of my favorite. But not so when it comes to content spaghetti. Most companies do not realize the content spaghetti problem that they are facing. You may have tons of content, raw data, files, images, videos. Is it reaching the correct channel or person? Is your brand image consistent? Are you using the correct or latest version? So to eliminate this, you need a content orchestration platform. This will enable efficient collaboration among teams at the heart of your content value chain. With our technology and capabilities to do so, this is what content orchestration's definition is: a state in which tools are seamlessly integrated. Our technology and capabilities to support channel neutral content, extensive metadata and AI capabilities to enrich, organize, and manage content, and to distribute to any channel. So Elvis Digital Asset Management is what we are going to show you today. Without further ado, I would like to pass the floor to the screen, sorry, not the floor, to my colleague Teoh. He will be doing a live demo of how Elvis Digital Asset Management can do remote collaboration in terms of getting your content consistent.
Hi, Teoh. Is Teoh in?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, can anyone see my screen? Yeah, there's a big butterfly on it.
Yes, we can see you, Teoh.
Okay, so thank you, Victor. I believe he has touches one of the major topic that especially in the current situation that we are facing, which is the content spaghetti. Now today, what we are going to spend, because I only have like 30 minutes, what I'm going to go through our digital asset management systems, also known as DAM, and don't get offended if I keep using the word DAM. In this particular session, it means digital asset management systems. So how can the digital asset management system address issue in especially in the content spaghetti situation, where now we have tons and tons of content created every day. So I think in the past, everyone was thinking that digital asset management or even content like photo, images, video, audio, everything, all this belongs to the content or to the creative industry. But nowadays with cameras, with handphone that is up to like 2 terabytes of storage, where everyone start to be using social media to communicate, images or digital content is no longer just belongs to the creative industry. It belongs to all the brands, it belongs to all the industries, it belongs to everyone that is picking up the handphone and take photos that is related to your company, to your social connection. So how are we going to manage all this thing has become a trouble. So today we are going to run through the so-called the functionality and the features of the DAM system that we are offering. So are we taking questions or?
The questions, we'll take it in the last
Okay,
15 minutes. You might want to start first. I think audience, if they have any question, do drop it into the Q&A session so that it's easier for us.
Okay, sure, no problem. Well, as any web application, by the way, the DAM system itself is HTML5 compliant. So in other words, any devices or any platform that has a HTML5 compliance browser will be able to access the systems. There is no special agent or application that required to be installed on your particular platform. So in other words, you can run it on, which we don't recommend, on mobile phone, on your tab, on your desktop itself. So as long as you have a browser, you'll be able to access. So what I'm going to log in. Oh, by the way, the system itself is already multilingual ready. So in other words, you can change, especially for organizations that have different branches or different subsidiary around the world, where users prefer to be operate in their local languages. The system itself is already multilingual ready. So I'm going to log into my systems. So once the user is logged in, they will be greeted with the interface they're already familiar with. And this is very important in the sense that because whenever we want to roll out some applications or some changes into the organization, one of the major issue that we face is user enablement. How fast my product is able to be rolled out to production, and of course training does incur costs. But so what we have designed Elvis in a way that it has a very slick interface. User is already familiar. Things are organized into a folder structure, and there's a preview panel that help users to allocate to get used to the systems, able to be ready for production in a very so-called short period of time. Our experience is usually for user side, half a day training is enough for them to get ready for them for production use. So everything is organized in a folder structure, so where they already familiar with. So what exactly is different between the DAM system and my local file systems? Well, things are also organized in a folder structure. So that is when what Victor is mentioned, how are we going to address the issue in content spaghetti issue? So of course, all DAM system required, offer a keyword search. This is, I'm not going to go through in detail with this. Like for example, I can type in any keywords to search for search for content that I require. But how this thing is going to work is all because now all these images has a meta information. Now this is the key difference between DAM systems and conventional or traditional document management systems, where on the DAM systems, we manage all the metadata of the asset itself in the database. Like for example, if you look at this particular image itself, if you look at it, they are in general, they are all close to 500 different types of metadata that is being embedded inside digital content, digital file itself. So all this meta information, when it check into the system, so upload into the system, it is extracted, indexed, and make it searchable and presentable to the users. So let's say, for example, like I think one of the very key information when we come to digital content is the right management. So like for example, copyright, am I allowed to use this image on the internet or in my publication or in any of my channel that I'm going to publish this image to? So copyright right management is within the systems. So we can search the system, like let's say, for example, for any copyright information, usage right, and usage terms. So all this is being extracted and indexed by the systems. So, and at the same time, beside the search keyword, we also offer the filter. So we also understand that, let's say, for example, on a system that has thousands and thousands or even close to millions of asset, a keyword is not sufficient for helping users to find what they required. So we also offer filters. They are up to like 20 filters that we can specify to help users to locate their information. Like for example, now I'm working on a project that that is about a cat. I can start looking at images. Basically, the filter is to help to scope down the search criteria, or I can even make use of the tag or status. Any metadata that is within the systems, it can be one part of the filter that help users to find information that is required. Okay, let me close this. So we will come back to content spaghetti. So right now, for example, we always face the issue with file sharing or content sharing, especially when your workforce is mainly remote, or like nowadays, everyone work from home and work from remote. So traditionally, or even nowadays, how are we going to share remote? Like let's say, for example, I'm going to start working on a project that is related with cats. So I find my cat. So there are two cats here. which, so what usually a user will do is they'll go and download all these images, zip them up, and start to emails to different users. So now this works if you have two, but imagine if we are working on a project that have like tens of or even like hundreds of images that need to filter through, like for example, especially in online retail, like I need to select certain photo for my products. I need to publish my catalog for my upcoming promotion. So we are dealing with a lot of digital content. So the usual way or the common way is like email. So when things get like close to, well, first thing first, this will increase a lot of workload for your email systems. And second thing, I believe a lot of email server also have a limit on how big a file can be. So then users start to use different methods like Dropbox, Google Drive, Azure Drive. I mean, it is okay, but imagine like once all this thing is shared, there is really no central repository or a central way for us to manage all this set. User A can be using Dropbox, then user B, when he need to require to access all this information, they're required to have a Dropbox account or things like that. You know, things get out of control and content are stored everywhere on the internet. There is no central way to manage all this information. Now, how Elvis is able to help in the sense that, beside having all your information being distributed on different platform or in different areas, so that creates a version control issue. They also create duplication issue. They also create an authenticity case issue. Like let's say, for example, I have a cat photo that is being stored in the Dropbox. I have a cat photo also storing in Google Drive. So which one is the so-called the final version, and which one is the version that everyone is going to, especially a remote workforce is going to work on it. So how Elvis is able to help is, first thing first, in order for us to counter duplication, because we, especially when we come to content creation, we don't really encourage duplication, because duplication will introduce many problems that I mentioned before. For example, storage is one of the main thing. The other one is the version control. So which is the one that I'm supposed to use in my catalog or in my publication to ensure a brand consistency. So how Elvis is going to help here is we introduce something called a collection. Okay, so instead of making duplicates, instead of download into my local drive and pack into the email, so all I need to do is I create something called a collection. So once I have a collection created, I can start sharing this out with all my users. So when sharing this, of course, I can put in some description. I can set in a link validity. So in other words, this is very useful for like especially in a work group environment where a project has a due date. So I can set up a due date. So here I have some control, like for example, whoever that I share this link with, are they able to preview the images inside? Are they able to download the original? Or at the same time, do I allow user to contribute content into this particular project? So I'm going to enable this. For demo purposes, I'm going to just say you cannot download original. So of course, we can also set up an email notification. In case anything happen, like let's say for example, any updates to this particular share link, I will be able to access. So once everything is set, all I need to do is just click share, and this is the link that is being generated. So now instead of sharing the entire zip archive to all my users, all I need to do is copy this link, paste into my email, and I send this link out. So once the users or my colleague receive this link, this is all they can see. And remember just now when I said I have disabled them to download the original, because sometimes in image production, the original file is where we really want to protect because they are high resolution so we can have the option to say the users or the users that I share within the work group, they can only look at the preview of the photo instead of downloading the original. And of course, I always have the option to modify the link. Let's say here now I enable download original, and I don't have to resend the email because basically everything now, the setup is all controlled within the systems. When I click this one, now I have the option to download original. So now users can start to work on this so-called virtual folder. So instead of uploading your files into Google Drive or Dropbox or even other cloud services, now I always offer the same functionality where users is able to upload and download images from their, from a single repository rather than distributed way of sharing information. So besides sharing, okay, so now we have a sharing, we have a content, a repository that is built within our organization. But then how are we going to make use of them? How are we going to integrate my so-called my repository and make it add more functions and features into my DAM systems? Now, one of the key challenge within the DAM system is, like just now when I mentioned, when I'm able to search the cat image, why is it so that I able to search the cat? Because the system has no knowledge of this particular image, because all the system can see is just 1 and 0 within this file. So all this thing is actually done by tagging all these images. Now, because this appeared a cat here, that's why when I type cat, this image appeared. So now, in the, so I won't say in the old days, but up to maybe 2 years ago, tagging is still done manually. So we have a lot of customers that actually employ interns or even part-time into their organization. So day in and day out, all their task is to look at the image and start tagging them. So it's a very, very resource-intensive task. That is also one of the main reasons that a lot of organizations, they don't really like, or say, oh, okay, I buy a DAM system, it's very nice, but then how am I going to really make good use of them? Because if I tag a cat as a dog, I won't be able to find this cat image. And that is where artificial intelligence comes into the DAM world and really helps organizations to speed up the entire tagging process. So for this, I'm going to just again show, take one of the demo. Let's anything that I have not tagged. Okay, let's say for example, this particular image. Well, it's in the systems, but how am I going to find it? It looks like a pagoda, but let's see what happened. But you know, if you look at the tag, there's nothing much I can find. Basically just the file name and that's it. Now, once I load into the systems, if this thing is not properly managed, I will never able to find this particular image. So this is where AI is able to help, and the flexibility of Elvis DAM systems, because we have a very comprehensive API systems that is built into the systems. So basically, if any third-party services that offer an API as well, so our system is able to integrate into their services. Now, here the demo that we are using is basically you can select the image. Well, I want to submit this image for auto tagging. So what happened in the background is Elvis is going to submit this image into the AI provider that our plugin is designed, our plugin is configured, and to auto tagging. So if we notice that right now the demo plugin that we have is we can connect to AWS recognition, we connect to Google Vision. So if we really look at what the AI is able to help. Now the shine word is come out, the temper is come out, the pagoda is come out. So now let's say, for example, if I try to search for the word pagoda, this image appeared and this image appeared. Same thing if I go for a temple. So these are all the so-called images that have a temple word associated with it. Like if I mentioned just now, if I'm only interested in the images, I can just click on image and to so-called filter down the search scope of my intention. So with AI now being integrated or being introduced into the systems, we can basically connect to any third-party AI provider to again add more features into your DAM system rather than just a plain search and display systems. At the same time, if we once we connect to the AI provider, if you notice here that we can also do translation on the fly, as this is especially useful for again organization with different so-called workforce remotely or internationally. So let's say, for example, if I come up with a tag and I'm going to make sure that they are being translated. So now the images itself or the system itself is multilingual ready, so that instead of searching the word pagoda, I can search for the word Baota, or I can even search for the Bahasa Malaysia pagoda. Is also known as pagoda. So now the search is no longer a two-dimensional. Because historically or traditionally, we are very, very familiar with hierarchical organization, the way that organize information. We organize file by dates, by location that we have taken all these images, or even by project. But with tagging, now the search or the organization of the object is now in a multi-dimensional way, because I am no longer limited to look for my content within a folder structure. I can find my content based on the tag, based on the meta information that is embedded into the image itself. So beside the AI, so I believe I have 10 minutes. I also encourage if any online users, because we have configured our systems to integrate into Twitter. So whatever information that is being tweeted, now let's say, for example, if any audience can help to tweet an image with the tag WoodWing demo, it will automatically ingest into the systems, as we mentioned. So this is useful as in a scenario or the case studies that some of our customers is using this because they want to continuously monitor a certain hashtag for promotional purposes, or even for a company campaign or for brand management purposes. They can set up, they can make use of this plugin, set up a plugin to monitor certain hashtag. So once the hashtag is being published on the Twitter, it will automatically ingest into the systems. Of course, here I required my colleague Victor help to just to tweet something. And when he is doing this, we noticed that this systems is will automatically ingest into the system. So now, before he managed to tweet something, let me also okay, when the integration with AI, so there is also one features that I required to show. I'm going to show is the GPS information, because nowadays we understand that a lot of images is also, especially phone cameras, or even some camera itself also have embedded GPS module within the systems. So how are we going to make use? I mean, I have all the GPS information that's stored inside the system. So is it possible for me to visualize it on my DAM systems? So before I do that, let me just, oops. So I have taken some photos with GPS information embedded. So again, this one is to show the integration within any third-party solution. So we have done a plugin that able to integrate into Google Map. You pick up the GPS information within the system and plot it and drop a pin on the Google Map. So this one is, yeah, I mean, again, this one is just to showcase that the flexibility of Elvis that is able to integrate into any third-party service provider that have an API endpoint for us to connect to. And again, the API itself is not a secret within Elvis itself. So they are all being published on the internet. Even just now, all the plugin that we see, like for example, the image recognition, the map, the integration with Google, they are all being published on GitHub. So in other words, this also protect the customer so-called investment in the sense that nothing is being hiked. Whatever that you see on the screen is all publicly available. The API itself, the plugin itself is all being open source. So anyone can just download, look into the code, and to customize or to integrate it into their organization based on the so-called the syntax of the API. So let's see, do I have my Twitter coming or not? Okay. This is another one. Okay, I have 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is to briefly touch on version control, because version control is also essential in the sense. Let me just close this one. Oops. Something wrong with
Victor and Teoh, just thought if you guys would like to take on the questions first.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, because it's only about 5 minutes left. And I
Yeah.
think the major question is whether what's the key difference between the service compared to this as well as to Google Drive or OneDrive and WoodWing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, it's like I mentioned just now, is the way that we manage the meta information, because I think is how comprehensive the service is offering. Because nowadays, the so-called the trend that we see is Google Drive or OneDrive, users are all new features are being added into their system itself. Like let's say, for example, now we are able to do a search, a metadata. The tagging is also important in those drive. Yeah, I mean, but the DAM system is again, what we have done is all this information, all this so-called metadata management is already embedded into our systems. Is a proven solution. And of course, when we are using Google Drive, well, it also versus a so-called a corporate drive or even a personal drive. When we are, what Elvis, the main thing about Elvis is, again, as we mentioned just now, it's a central repository where every employees or every asset that belongs to the company, the rights itself is all being locally managed instead of using a third-party solution.
So basically, you have full control over all your assets and your files.
Digital assets law.
That is correct. Yeah. So,
Okay.
like for instance, if you place your files and digital assets on Google Drive or Dropbox, you log in with your email. But if that employee leaves the company and he doesn't leave down the login credentials, you are not able to access all the files. But if you have all these assets in your central repository, you have full control over it. Basically, you own everything. Tracking is done, versioning, audit trails, and everything, whereby you will not face the problems that you have when you use a third-party cloud file management service. This is a full digital asset management whereby you can also customize and integrate to your other systems that you are using.
Okay. There's also one more question. If it's copyright though, any copyright they need to take note of using WoodWing?
Sorry, come again. Copyright as in?
Yeah, that's one question asking if there's any copyright. I think what they mean is, do we need to take note of any copyright issue using WoodWing?
Well, WoodWing is a licensed software. So once you license the software, then you are okay to use. But in terms of the content, what we offer, yeah, right management is very essential when it comes to DAM systems, especially when we come to copyright. Like for example, certain images, there is an embargo being set. Like for example, when we purchase a stock photo from 123RF, or even the stock photo provider, Getty or iStock, like there is a usage right for this particular image. Like let's say, for example, I only pay for 10 usage. So in other words, this image or this whatever digital content that I purchase from the service provider, I can only publish it 10 times. So how are we going to keep track of those information? Like I mentioned, because we also we keep track of all the meta information within the systems. So before the user using the asset, they always have a visual representation. Like let me just take this image I downloaded from Google, Google Web. So yeah, you've noticed that here I only have a green tag, but of course all this is configurable. So let's say, for example, now I want to set the copyright. I say this is a copyright by using demo. So you notice that here I have a representation, visual representation. There's this image is being copyright. So let's say, for example, if a users would like to search for certain images for their project, when they say, okay, this is good, but then I noticed that there is a copyright being set, so I can go into more details about this particular asset. And of course, we can also set up certain plugin to keep track of the usage, because that will be the integration to another one of our publication system, which is known as Enterprise. So this is where we can keep track of the usage right in the sense that, let's say, for example, this particular image has been published in this catalog, or this particular image has been published on our online so-called the online portal. How many times? So we can always keep track of all this usage right.
Okay, we have one more last question, and how other file types are handled in this system? Example, movie with multiple encoding, does it able to play back online?
Yes. Actually, we are also working on a project with integration into AI, which is to able to do a video analytic. So in other words,
Okay.
let's say, for example, let me just do a quick one. I may experience some internet. By the way, my system now is running on AWS. So yep, it can do a cloud deployment, and it can also do a on-prem deployment. So what we can see is like MPEG-4, MOV. So in terms of all the file type being supported, it's all being published on the internet. I think user can go to helpcenter.woodwing.com. You'll be able to search for the file type. So
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's all being supported. In terms of playback, we can do a multi-screen playback, so they can always look at it. Oops, no. Yep, playback is no issue.
Okay, can understand. Anything else you want to wrap up to end the session?
I believe, yeah.
I
go
guess
ahead,
yeah, that's the difference between Dropbox, Google Drive, and Elvis DAM. As you can see, Teoh has shown you all the features that the Dropbox and Google Drive do not have. And you can see that, yeah, I've just tweeted 2 pictures, and it has been ingested into the system directly. Teoh is showing you now. And also, yeah, with all the AI capabilities in auto tagging, yeah, all these are available in Elvis Digital Asset Management.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Ken. Thank you so much, Victor and Teoh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being the first speakers for today's Day to SME Digital Fest, and thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your effort and your sharing, and we really hope that attendees gain something from your sharing. Thank you so much, Victor and Teoh.
Thank you so much for letting us participate in this event. It's very, very useful, I guess, to everyone.
Yep.
Thank
Thank you so much. And
Exabytes. Grow your business online.